Thank you. Good morning to you all. It's really good to be here. I feel I came from home to another home. Last week, I was speaking at a similar session, and I could see similar faces. I come from Dubai, and I work for the Knowledge and Human Development Authority. The Knowledge and Human Development Authority looks after schools, universities, and colleges, as well as training centers in Dubai. And we are very, very fortunate to have a number of Indian universities in our free zone area, where they are catering for over 30,000 students in Dubai alone. So it's really tremendous pride for us. I was asked to talk about two things today. The first thing is, what is the future of universities, or what is the university of the future? And the second thing I was asked to talk about is how to become a world-class university. So hopefully, my half-an-hour talk, I can bring it down to 5 minutes. I'm very fortunate to have worked across the whole spectrum. I was a student at university. I was a teacher at university. I was a professor at university. I was a head of department at university. I was a dean of a university. And then I worked in the quality assurance. So I came from the regulator side. And then I worked in the licensing of universities. So I can see it from all different angles. And when you look at universities and you see what will be the future university, I think we have a lot of tendency to extrapolate rather than think of what the future should look like. I think just my learned friend talked about the University of Happiness, the Ministry of Happiness. We also have a Ministry of the Future. And Dubai government has got a program which is called Dubai Future Accelerator. And what that is all about, if you want to have a future university, it's no good to say, oh, IT is going fast, and therefore we need to do that. And knowledge transfer is so fast, and we need to respond to it. Or there are new areas, and we need to respond to them. You just ends up trying to chase what's happening rather than making the future yourself. The future is not about extrapolating, is not about having option A and option B and option C. The future is about innovating the future. When we look at universities, and so many people at universities, let's look at the way people are recruited, or people are promoted, or people are anything. And you dig deep inside your heart and ask, are these methods that you are using, are they indigenous to our society, or have they been imported from somewhere else? Even the way we structure our courses and our university degrees, they are just imports. They don't come up from the heart. The Germans, they have got their own German system. And the French, they have their own French system. And the Americans, they have their own American system. And the Canadians, they have their own Canadian system. And the Japanese, they have their own Japanese system. And what do we have? Do we really have our own system? Or do we have somebody else's system? And that's the problem. If you copy, you will always be second rate. If you innovate, you will always be first. So if you want to create a university of the future, you don't need to think outside the box. Take the box, throw it away, and then think. As soon as you think outside the box is right beside you, so you keep hugging the box. So you don't think of the box. You go way outside it, you throw it out, and you start thinking, what do we want for ourselves? So if you want to create the future, you imagine the future, and then you work towards it. Of course, there have been many scenarios. The OECD, they imagine that there are going to be 4 types of university. And they imagine that the university that will be most successful is the university that responds to demand and the university that responds to the market. So really at heart, when you want to imagine what a future university look like, you have got to go back and you have got to ask yourself, what is the real purpose of a university? What is the real purpose of a university? Are universities just a continuation of schools as they are now? All we do is people, they pass a school and then they go on to another school. Is a university about preparing people for jobs that you don't know that they are going to be created? Because if universities are about jobs, universities that would have been closed ages ago. So who is in his right mind can predict what jobs are going to be around in 5 years' time? Forget about 10 years' time, forget about 20 years' time. You can imagine the shapes of jobs, but you can never guess the numbers, you can never guess the locations, you can never guess anything about jobs. Because jobs, they are created in different areas, so even if you give the right course, you are not sure if people have the mobility to go and get the jobs. And a country like India, and Indian education does not serve India. It serves the world. Your employment is all over the world. Everywhere you go, you will find Indians working. So you don't prepare people to work in here. You prepare people to work everywhere. So what type of person you need to work everywhere? You need a critical thinker. You need a problem solver. These are the qualities that people want in their employees. You need people that self-manage themselves, not require supervision and management. These are much higher people, they require the much higher cognitive skills. But when you look at education and higher education, mostly it is what? It is not higher education, it is higher rote education. People, they are just expected to remember, recall, sit exams for 3 hours at a time, put it out, and the higher score you get, the better you are. What we are doing, we are shutting the minds of young people rather than opening the minds of these young people. Young people, they want their minds to be opened rather than shut. We don't want them to continue recall, rote learning, recall, rote learning. Write me whatever I have given you. Solve that problem, solve this problem. And what are the problems they are solving? Is the same problem that we have solved on the board in the classroom. We don't bring new problems. We don't give them problems that nobody can solve. This is the real problem to be given. So you need to think of a future that is different paradigm than the way it is today. Then you will have your own education and you will have your own higher education. So how to become a world class? The number one, you need to have a sense of purpose. Why are we doing it? The number two is a sense of direction. Where do I want to go? But number 3 and 4 is a sense of integrity. University is about integrity. And university is about traditions. Establish your own traditions. Every high-ranking university in the world has its own tradition. Every high-ranking university in the world, they don't care about the ranking. They were there before the ranking. The ranking came after them. Every top university in the world, they never undergone an accreditation system. They are not interested in it. Accreditation is only to control the weak, the ones that are not, they have done no compliance. But when you are a great university, you set the pace. Everybody follows you because you are there. You are changing the game. And that's what it's all about. Excellent higher education is an education that changes paradigm, that changes the game. You go where you want to go, not where other factors push you. Thank you very much. Thank you.